What would have happened to the early general election and what would have happened to Brexit if we had a proportional representation system instead of first past the post? That's what I want to talk about in this video. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another Brexit video. While in the House of Commons, election campaigns seem to have started with quite a lot of heat, as you could see at the PMQs today, and as many members thanked John Bercow during his last PMQs for his 10-year duty and service as Speaker, I want to get to a different point that came up with the opposition over and over again when there were talks about an election. The opposition often stated that they would prefer a system of proportional representation. But what would happen at this election if they were successful? As you all know, the system today is first past the post, so the one in the constituency who gets the most votes, and even if it's just 20%, he gets the post and he gets the mandate, or the seat, as you would say. In Germany, for general elections and for state parliament elections, we have a combined system from first past the post and proportional representation. Half of the seats goes by first past the post, half of the seats goes by proportional representation. But in this video, I want to show you what would have happened if in this general election you had a pure proportional representation, as it's often brought up by members of the opposition. For that, I prepared some graphics for you, and let's just have a look. As most of you probably know, it's far too early to make any real predictions on the actual election with the first past the post system. It can end either way. If the Conservatives get 40% of the votes, they still can end up with 60% of the seats, or the other way round, and so I'll stay away from that. But for the hypothetical proportional representation, and by the way, as a German, of course, I am a friend of proportional representation. I myself, as borough councillor, was elected on the basis of proportional representation. I just want you to know that before I get into this, because you might be surprised at the end. But first, I only chose the Conservatives, Labour, the Lib Dems, Brexit Party and SNP for this, and put all the others in others to make it easier to show and make it easier to understand what's going on. For this, I picked one of the most current opinion polls to have some numbers to work with for hypothetical proportional representation. And so the numbers I got from this opinion poll are 40% for the Conservatives, 25% for Labour, 15% for the Lib Dems, 12% for the Brexit Party, 5% for the SNP, and 3% for others. What does this mean for seats if that was the actual result of the election? For the Conservatives, and before I get into that, I also left out a possible 3% or 5% hurdle to keep it simple. Usually, if you have that system, you do have something like that, but we leave it out for this example. So, the Conservatives would have 260 seats based on that. Labour would have 163. The Lib Dems would have 97. The Brexit Party 78. The SNP 33. And others 19 seats. What does this mean compared to the parliament today? The Conservatives would have lost 28 seats, but if you have a look at the whole picture later on, it's not that bad really. Labour would have lost a third of his seats. It would have lost 81 seats. The Lib Dems would gain 78 seats. That's really a big growth. The Brexit Party would also gain 78 seats. Of course, in the end, they don't have as many seats as the Lib Dems because of 12 and 15%, but it's the same growth because it would be their first time in Parliament in such numbers, and especially since they were founded, of course. And the SNP would lose 2 seats compared to today. So it wouldn't make such a big difference for the SNP, although many believe that they will gain more seats in the actual election with the first past the post system in Scotland. And the others would lose 45 seats, but you have to keep in mind there are, of course, independents that have formerly been in the Labour Party, in the Conservative Party, and so on. And so that would probably equalize what it should be. Of course, the Greens, Plaid Cymru, DUP and everything are in there. I also left out, by the way, all special rules that might come up in some regions. We in Germany, for example, in Schleswig-Holstein, have a special rule for the Danish minority. They are not bound to the 5% hurdle we have for elections. And so there are a lot of special cases you have to take care of, and it probably would happen with Northern Ireland or Wales. And so I kept that out of here to keep it simple. But in the end, if you see, the Conservatives would lose some seats, but in case of Brexit, if you combine the seats of the Conservatives and the Brexit Party, an election on proportional representation at this moment would definitely lead to Brexit, because together they don't only have 52% of the votes, but they have more than necessary to have a majority together in the House of Commons. As you could see, there are two sides of a medal. It always depends on what you really want to achieve. Sometimes first past the post might be better for you, sometimes proportional representation. In this case, you saw that it even would have been good for Boris Johnson and Brexit to have a proportional representation system. Even if the Conservatives lost seats combined with the Brexit Party, Brexit clearly won in a case like that. Of course, it's all hypothetical. In the election there will be first past the post, and I only could take an opinion poll at current time without all the campaigning happening with everything that can happen there. And you know, in the campaign you don't know what's going to happen. Boris Johnson, if he gets 40%, he still could have 60% of the seats, but he also could lose a lot of seats. You never know, because you have to keep a close look at every constituency. But because of the frequent mentioning of proportional representation, I wanted to show you once what would have happened if the numbers were like in the opinion polls in the general election. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I, by the way, don't mind if you like and share my videos as well. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and see you soon.